state assets. Would you look at selling those off?
Well, we've made a commitment not to sell state assets this term, but we think it's really important
so you're not
that they're
ruling
managed
that
well.
Term.
That's the commitment we've made for this term. But
this is the thing where it's not quite a yes, it's not quite a no, but it's a pretty scary answer.
Well, we've made a commitment not to sell state assets this term, but we think it's really important that they're managed well. Well, that's the commitment we've made for this term, but we do think it's really important that they're managed well. Because again, these investments we actually manage on behalf of New Zealanders, and we believe they should be as managed as well as New Zealanders would expect. And that's not always the case. So we're looking carefully at how they're managed with a view to making sure they deliver on their purpose.
There you go. So there's series number 1, Chewy. Whilst you're giving us all some of your thoughts, my dog seems desperate to get upstairs. She's actually trying to creep off her basket. So I'm going to let her upstairs while you make a well-made and well-adjusted point to the whānau watching on what you've just heard.
That should be terrifying. This term. She said it 3 times. She's not ruling out selling state assets this term. And with that axe hanging over their head, that if there's a perception that they're poorly managed, then they're going to be first on the chopping block. And we've got the perfect example, is that they have said that our entire health sector is poorly managed. So we can't sell it this term, but it's going to be at the front of the queue next term. That's how I read that.
It's pretty terrifying, eh? Not this term. Look, I guess 2 things. I thank them. That's an honest answer. She could have gone, we have no plans to sell state assets. And that would have kind of been the same answer. Saying, though, not this term does actually mean maybe next term. And to be honest with you, Labour, where are the billboards? Immediately. And look, and the other thing about this is, what is the biggest... Well, you hold your thoughts, Chewy, for a sec, right? I'm going to ask everyone this, and then I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, 0. Say what you think it is. The biggest piece of infrastructure at the moment that had a lot of debate, that is a state-owned asset. We're going to say the same thing together. Ready? Choose if we're thinking the same thing. You ready? Big piece of infrastructure, state-owned asset that these guys are, I think, pretty desperate to get off the books because it's an embarrassment for them. Should we try together? Yes. Yeah, Should we try? You ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Ferries. Didn't say anything. We might have a delay. Ferries, all in the chat. Exactly right. And I said the other day, I can't remember who it was, but there was an MP, it might have been Aisha Verrill in the House, that got Nicola Willis to admit that the new ferries they're looking at is going to need either a rebuild or a refit out of the terminals anyway. But what she also said is, but we won't be paying for that. That's what Nicola Willis said in the House. So what that means, I guess we shall wait and see. PPP on the way, straight privatization.
There were hundreds of billions of dollars of transport funding announced by Simeon Brown this week.
32, I think, 32 billion?
Yeah, all for roads and potholes and that sort of thing. And of course, they're needing to get stiffed once again. But at no point have they acknowledged the very clear thing that we pointed out, that our ferry system is a bridge.
Yeah.
It is part of State Highway 1. And it gets none of that lolly scramble of funding that is going out for traditional roads.
Yep.
And again, that was a chance for them to swoop in and go, look, we acknowledge this needs money, we've got money. No, it's roads of regional significance or roads of national significance, and fuck you cycleways and all of that sort of stuff, which I love, because Simeon was asked about cycleways and he says, look, there's a lot of things that were nice to have. Yes, the previous national government thought it was a nice to have. So they're the ones that kick-started it.
John King. The other thing I heard was Simeon Brown today is I heard him having a crack at fucking judder bars. Oh, there's judder bars everywhere. They're putting judder bars in every single street. No one's filling in the potholes. It's like now there's a war on judder bars. Okay.
So all right. So this is a classic thing as well, right? So judder bars are usually installed in cities and that sort of thing. It's a council thing. Like if he's talking about state highways. You don't see judder-bars on state highways.
Mm.
And if he's got such a hard-on for potholes, then why isn't he looking at the fact that National completed a 1-2 punch of letting the trucking lobby increase the weight of their trucks while slashing the maintenance budgets of the roads?
Yeah.
Just, again, they'll come up with a policy. Thank you. They'll come up with a policy and they won't game it to find what are the intended and unintended consequences of this.
Yeah.
Like increasing the weight of road traffic. Like they're so keen. That was one of the big things when they were bringing in road user charges for EVs, is that they're heavier and they do more damage to the road. One of these H-class trucks are doing 10,000 times the amount of damage to roads than EVs are.